Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Chris and welcome to Cross Chop. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Now, this is my first pickups video I've done in a while, and certainly the first one I've done since before the holidays, so I'll just go ahead and dive right in. I figure I'll group the stuff I'm going to show you into these kind of little compartmentalized sections wherein I bought them or acquired them at a distinct unified place. So this first set of items comes from a pawn shop in Indiana that my brother and I actually frequent anytime I'm home and he's also home concomitantly. And all of the stuff here ranged in price from I think $2 to $4. So I picked up a couple of super cheap Sega Genesis games that were complete. We've got Bulls versus Blazers and the NBA playoffs. Team USA Basketball, which of course is the Team USA Basketball limited edition, featuring the likes of Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, of course, and many others. Grabbed a couple of GameCube games that I never owned, but have intended to get at some point or another. Enter the Matrix, which I've played before. I remember renting this when I was a kid and enjoying it fairly well for a licensed movie game adaptation. And 007 Everything or Nothing, a complete in-box copy of Double Dribble for the NES. The box is in pretty good shape. The only trouble is it's got this big rip here where I assume a sticker was at some point, or perhaps an anteater licked it and scalloped its potato. Jet Moto 2 for the PS1. I've only previously played a demo of this that I had on a PS1 demo disc, of course. I remember enjoying it fairly well. I remember it being significantly difficult. Of course, the first Jet Moto was also tough, but I'd played that one so much because that was one of the earliest PS1 games I ever owned and played just religiously with my brother and dad. And lastly, from that same pawn shop visit, Turok 2 Seeds of Evil on the N64. Plowing straight ahead, once again chronologically in terms of when I acquired these items as best as I can remember because it's been like 2.5, maybe 3 months. These next few items came from a retail store here in St. Louis called Vintage Stock that I've mentioned a number of times on this channel, as well as some of my other compatriots from the St. Louis area. It's specifically 3 items because I had a buy one get one free coupon. I think this was in maybe mid to late October. It might have been sometime in early November. Really not sure. I could check my receipts, but I just don't wanna. So the first 2 are N64 editions. Mario Tennis, one of my favorite sports adaptations ever made. I'm really glad to add this game. I remember playing this a lot, staying up late with one of my best friends as a kid, probably in like 3rd or 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. And what I believe is a somewhat uncommon N64 game. We've got Goemon's Great Adventure. Still need the other Goemon game. I think there's one other pretty uncommon one on the N64 as well. And lastly, this was the one that I believe was actually free because of the buy 2 get 1 free coupon that I mentioned. And that's Resident Evil on the PS1. The last time I played this game was in the DS version, which I believe is called Deadly Silence. So this was a much more recent visit to that same pawn shop from earlier in the video back in Indiana, in which I really just went hog wild and bought a bunch of really cheap video games, many of which are crummy.
Please enjoy.
Groove Rider Slot Car Thunder, Cabela's Outdoor Adventures, Flushed Away, carrying the Wallace and Gromit art style. I assume this was a movie, but didn't see it. And True Crime, New York City. Then there were 3 PS1 titles from that same visit. We got Spec Ops Covert Assault, the original Medal of Honor, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. And now it is time for all of those aforementioned crummy N64 games. There's actually one that's okay. Madden 2000, Madden 2001, NBA Live 99, NBA Live 2000, NHL 99, WWF Warzone, Mia Hamm Soccer 64, NBA Courtside 2 featuring Kobe Bryant, and what is in my opinion the best one of the bunch, Cruisin' USA. I already have Cruisin' World, so now I just need Cruisin' Exotica to complete the trilogy. Easily the best find of that visit to the pawn shop, and I have to thank my brother for this. He's the one who identified the cartridge first amidst the wreckage and roughage and mess of all of the items in that shop. We've got Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I've already got Street Fighter 2, but of course I'm gonna add Turbo. So a few years ago, I used to live in Louisville, Kentucky, and I've done a couple of vlogs about it, so if you want to check those out, you can click here. The reason I mention that is because there's a store in Louisville that I frequent with Lord Bale and Vanilla Thunder and some of my other friends called Half Price Books. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of that. There wasn't one that was readily accessible to me here in St. Louis until recently. So, naturally, Had to go visit it on its opening week, and there wasn't a lot in the game department that really interested me, but my top 3 systems are Super Nintendo, GameCube, and N64. Those are the main systems that I'm trying to collect for at the moment. So I had to pick up a few GameCube titles that were reasonably priced and seemed to be in good condition on that first visit to Half Price Books. So I grabbed Reign of Fire, which seems to be a super common game. I've never played it. I don't know if it's any good, but I didn't have it in the collection. This copy seemed to be in great shape, so I grabbed it for like $3.
The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
And another very common GameCube title, 007 Nightfire. Another one I believe I rented probably back in middle school, played for like a weekend, and then returned promptly to the video game store so as not to incur any fees or a criminal record. 2 or 3 weeks after that first visit, I went back to Half Price Books, and they had some other games in there. Really, once again, nothing great, but once again, I grabbed some more GameCube titles, such as Tony Hawk's Underground, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Happy feet?
Beyblade V-Force Super Tournament Battle.
And The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. Somewhat recently, I also visited a Goodwill that I've never really had much luck at before, but this time it was decent. There, I picked up brand new sealed copies of Angry Birds Star Wars, and I think this was like $2 or $3. Scribblenauts Unlimited, and a game that I've seen before and I've heard is great. Some other YouTubers have mentioned it as a hidden gem on the PS3, and this was $7. Puppeteer. I feel like it's been quite a while since I added very many figures or toys to my collection. I've kind of pulled back from that a little bit until now, I guess. I was doing some Christmas shopping at Target and found some World of Nintendo figures that I'd been seeing on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, but I hadn't seen any personally myself while out shopping or anything like that. So I went ahead and grabbed 8-bit Mario, 8-bit Luigi, 8-bit Donkey Kong, of course, as well as Deku Link from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. So the only other one I added was Mewtwo. For the final figure I'm going to show you, I was once again in Target. I was actually returning a Christmas purchase, a gift for someone, and I just had this hunch that I should go look in the toys section to see if a figure that I really have wanted for a little while was there, and sure enough, there was only one available, and that was Gravity Suit Samus. I already had the orange suit Samus, which I unboxed here, and if you're curious about another cool unboxing of a figure that's actually my favorite World of Nintendo figure, that's going to be this Metroid right here. And this actually just arrived in the mail earlier this week, and that's the black Super Smash Bros. Edition GameCube controller. So I ordered this on Amazon, and I was thinking I'd be getting the North American version, and sure enough, it's the Japanese version, so you can see it's all Japanese text, but I really don't mind because it's going to work the same. And this black Japanese version will go well with my white Japanese version. So, my friends, we've reached the point in the video in which I unveil what is my favorite of the bunch of pickups that I've shown you so far today. I took advantage of a great deal for the very beginning of November 2015, in which I got a PS4, and it's the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. It's got all 3 of the thus far released Uncharted games, which I love. I haven't played the 3rd one yet, but I have played the first 2. So this bundle was great because it came with a controller charger as well as a copy of Fallout 4. And this is largely what I've been playing over the past 2 months, almost exclusively, but not quite.
You'll see what I mean on that.
Part of what I was really happy with this bundle too was that the Uncharted collection was actually a physical copy. It wasn't just a digital download as I feared it would be. But yeah, I've been spending a ton of time with the PS4. I've actually already upgraded the hard drive from the stock 500 gig to a faster 2 terabyte model, and then put that 500 gigabyte one from the PS4 into my PS3, which had previously only had a 160 gigabyte model. So that one's now faster and has a lot more storage too. Soon after getting that PS4 and those 4 included games, I was eager to grow my collection just a little bit more and took advantage of 2 Black Friday sales. And this was the only set of Black Friday deals that I took advantage of. I got Dishonored, the Definitive Edition. I've played this game on PS3, have played none of the DLC, and that was the main reason I wanted to get this. I wanted to have my own copy because I really loved it. It was my favorite stealth game of the last generation, and it's also good to have in preparation for Dishonored 2, which I believe is slated to come out in 2016. And I also got for $15 Until Dawn, also from Best Buy. I've already played through and beat this. My girlfriend and I played through it together and had a blast. We've gone back and changed the ending a little bit to just kind of experiment with that. I think it's become one of my favorite of the modern adventure style games that there's kind of been a resurgence of in recent years. While doing some Christmas shopping at Best Buy, I picked up season 1 of one of my favorite shows of all time, Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray. I've never owned any of these before. I used to watch this all the time as a kid with my brother. We love this show, and it's been a blast going through and watching this in really nice quality, and I'm definitely planning to get the entire saga, I think. I also picked up Injustice: Gods Among Us, the Ultimate Edition, so it's got all the DLC and characters that the NetherRealm Studios team created, and Metro Redux, which contains 2 games, Metro 2033 Redux and Metro Last Light. From what I can tell and what I've read online, this is also another kind of hidden gem on the PS4. A lot of people say that's a really atmospheric and well-made first-person shooter. And the final set of items came from the day after Christmas. My brother and I were out and about in our hometown in Indiana, and we went to GameStop of all places, and I grabbed a Wii U Pro controller. I've not owned one of these. I've heard it's a pretty good way to play. I've so far enjoyed using the controller fairly well. The X, Y, A, and B buttons feel a little bit farther away than is completely comfortable for my right thumb to reach to, but it's really not too bad. And I've heard that the battery life is excellent. So far I've had no issues, but I haven't played a whole lot because I've been playing Wonderful 101, which I also got at GameStop for a pretty good price. It's pretty fun, and it's got some charm to it. And the final 2 games, also again from that same GameStop visit, because they were doing a buy 2, get 1 free on any pre-owned items in the entire store. I got Thief and Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Well guys, that pretty well wraps it up. I know that was a lot of stuff, but it's been a while since I did my last pickups video, as I mentioned. Let me know in the comments down below what games you're playing now, what kind of gifts you got. And if it's your first time here and you liked what you saw, please subscribe. Thanks so much for hanging out at Cross Shop today, and play heavy.